All right, let's tighten up. It's your boy P Shark back here again. First episode of 2022. As y'all know, I have guests almost every single episode, so I got another special guest here tonight. But beforehand, did want to say, just like I said, thanks for all the support, all the views from last year. Everybody who tunes in, definitely appreciate y'all. 2022 should be a great year, especially for the Titans. You see, we got number one seed, so right on high times out here. And of course, y'all know I live in Memphis. So if y'all watched the Grizzlies lately, we're on 10 game winning streak. So remember, I do have a Grizzlies podcast to come out every single Monday as well. So follow us at starting five on the Grizzly Bear Blues every single Monday. I did predict that Golden State win last night. So I'm to my own horn on that one from this past episode. But as y'all know, remember follow me at LPR Tighten Up for the Titans podcast at my personal Twitter at the1_P Shark, and of course everything else we got going on for Let's Be Real Media. And I will have not sponsor, but actual video showing all of that after the first segment. But let's get this show on the road. Yes, sir. I'm back here again. Let's tighten up with a guest. As y'all know him as the 2020 NFL Fan of the Year, Brandon Galloway. How you doing, my guy?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Nah, no problem, no problem. And as I do every other guest, I do a questionnaire. But of course, just speaking about your experiences as the Fan of the Year, how does it feel to be the Fan of the Year? How did it feel at the time? How does it feel even now, a year later?
Well, at the time, you just kind of try to enjoy the moment and try to, not take anything for granted. Even a year later, though, I still really can't believe it. I look at, a lot of the videos and certain things is like, wow, that really happened to me. But Stephanie's the fan of the year this year.
Yep.
So I have tried to pin all my energy to make sure that we support and edify her and give her all the accolades that comes with this amazing um, initiative or program that the NFL has started last year. I try to be an ambassador for not only for the Titans but just for the whole program for the NFL.
For sure, for sure. And like I said, speaking of Stephanie, of course, shout out to Stephanie, our very own Titans fan of the year. She does a lot of great work. Love her on Twitter, just everything she's doing with the latest to Titans Twitter and everything. What is the like current advice you have for not only her, but like any fan of the year candidate and future candidates? Just any type of advice you have for them.
That's a good question. So I get a lot of questions about that fan of the year program, and I think people sometimes confuse it with the super fan. I have tattoos, but none of them are Titans related. And you're not gonna catch me at the game with all type of looking all crazy and doing all that. I'm just a regular fan. I come to the games. I do go to every game. Have to go to every game. And and support the boys. But the biggest deal is, this program. They made it very clear to me, and I had a real long conversation. Not a lot of people know this, but I had a real long conversation with Hall of Famer Chris Carter
Right.
at the Super Bowl site in Tampa last year, at the NFL Honors recording with Derrick Henry. And what one of the things that he was just telling me is, this program is supposed to encompass the fan in a way where it brings people together. So it's not that you want to try to match your love for football with your love for people, and I think that's what it is. So they're not looking for the person that is, they got all the tattoos or all the collective items, which those are good things. I don't want to, I definitely don't want to throw shade anywhere on that. But at the same time, they want people that they can that they feel good representing their franchise for that particular year. So for this year, I don't think that they could have named a better person than Stephanie, because
Yeah.
not only is Stephanie a real big, she's a huge fan of the Titans, but she's also a great person, a great mother.
Mm-hmm.
She does good. She makes sure that the ladies are represented, which of course for our franchise is really big, considering that we have one of the finest owners in pro sports, and she just happens to be a female. So big ups to Stephanie and the ladies of Twitter, Titans Twitter, and all of the work that they're doing there, because there's a lot of great ladies that work in the Titans organization that people don't know about too. A lot of people that really reached out to me and I connected with really well during that whole experience.
Nice, nice. Like I said, it's always great just hearing like great stories about everyone doing great things. So man, everybody went for fan of the year, especially Stephanie. Keep it up, and we definitely rooting for you to definitely get it speak into existence that she would
Yes,
and win
yes,
it.
absolutely.
But like I like to do all my guests, for a first time guest, I like to kind of get background story of how you became a Titans fan. First, I just ask about where you're from and where you live at now. So like where you're from and where you live now.
Okay, so I'm from Memphis. Grew up in
Yes,
Memphis. Born and raised in the 901 area code. Gosh, everything I know is about Memphis. I moved to Nashville in 2014 after obtaining my master's, and for work purposes. And I've always been a Titans fan. I did not grow up loving football, though. I was not a big football person. I didn't really get into football until the Titans had that very small stint in Memphis, and they came up to Nashville and they went on that Super Bowl ride. So that's really when football kind of caught my attention. And then from there, it was just all Titans, all Titans. And of course, Madden, if you play Madden long enough, Madden will teach you the game, teach you like what you can and can't do and what to look out for and who the best players are. So, we just had the passing of John Madden, but it was his game that really taught a lot of people, including myself, just how to, what the game is, and brought it in and put it in a way where, people that really wasn't into football can help them understand, the beauty of the game, not just how to play it, but just the beauty of what you're trying to do and how all 11 men on the field have to be in sync for things to work. But I live in Clarksville now. I moved
Okay.
up to the Middle Tennessee area in 2014. I've been working in Middle Tennessee ever since in a couple of different areas. I started in Robertson County and then moved to Wilson County, and now I'm working downtown Nashville, right by the stadium. So it's been kind of a whirlwind or whatever, but that's where I am now. And as far as how I became a Titans fan, or let's just say like this, I've since that Super Bowl run,
Hmm.
I have been a Titans fan, and of course, I never knew that I would be able one day to be able to afford tickets or come to any game for that matter when I was younger in Memphis. But here I am, and God has been good. So just kind of keep it pushing from there.
Nice, nice. Of course, I'm I'm from the M. I still live in the M, so now I love to have my own Memphians here. And
Yes.
hearing that's actually interesting that you said you started like paying attention and liking them while they was in Memphis because
Hmm.
it's crazy. A lot of people dislike them here in Memphis because of
Hmm.
everything that transpired in Memphis. Memphis, we love our own, and when they came here, they knew that they would leave going to Nashville. Nobody came to
Hmm.
support them. So, and it's one dude on the radio now. You was actually on the show last year, 929, John Martin.
Oh yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
can't stand the Titans for that
Yeah.
reason. He
Yeah.
always said,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Memphis, and I love my M town now, but we can be cheap. And at that point,
"Yep,
we went the Titans and the NFL. And what I did not realize, because now that I have been up here, I've been to a lot of college games, a lot of pro games, and obviously I graduated from the University of Memphis, and I was in the marching band. So if you can imagine what that looks like, I was at every basketball game, every
mhm,
football game, kind of going forward. So. Um, College stadiums and even the most historic college stadiums. Ohio State. I went to an Ohio State game a couple years ago. Actually, I went to the Ohio State game the day before we played Cleveland in the home opener.
oh,
Ohio State played Cincinnati, beat the brakes of Cincinnati, and the very next day, we had our game against Cleveland. We beat the brakes off the Browns, first game of the season. But
hey,
I went to the Ohio State game, and it was amazing to me. It's such a prominent stadium, but it was old. And
mhm,
the seats, there are no backs on the seats, and you feel like you just your back was gonna start hurt. And the NFL don't play them type of games. The next day we went to the Brown Stadium. It was a beautiful stadium. Everybody had backs on their seats, and it was you can tell that it was NFL. It was an NFL quality stadium. So the Titans, I don't blame them for not wanting to play in the Liberty Bowl.
exactly.
They wanted a brand new stadium, and Memphis probably at the time, wasn't trying to go for it, or at least in the way that you know,
Yep.
that Nashville was, and the rest is history.
And speaking of that, I had to I forgot where it happened. A guy from Nashville said the Grizzlies need to move to Memphis or something last summer. So I had
Oh wow.
actual had the episode Memphis versus Nashville with my guy
Oh,
Tyson Truth. He's from Memphis as well, but he has lived in Nashville, and we just kind of broke it down. Like, let the team, the grid. We got the Grizzlies. Titans
mhm.
got Nashville. Like, it's fine, just the way it is. Memphis is a basketball city, and
Oh
exactly
yes.
what you just said. Like, Memphis didn't want to build a stadium at that time. They did it to themselves. They could have had
Yeah.
an NFL team if they decided to build a stadium.
And
Simple as that.
and it worked out. I think it worked out. Memphis needs, because you said, like you said, if you belong to Memphis, Memphis will embrace you and keep
Hmm.
you even in some of the worst times. And I think they're seeing that, especially, and the University of Memphis will have to make a decision on Penny because of that reason. Like, he is
Yep.
one of their own, so they're
Hmm.
going to give Penny the longest benefit of doubt that they're going to be able to give him. But I hope the results start to work more favorable than they have been.
Yeah, of course. And gang just went out. But yeah, tough times with the Tigers program. But at least we have John Morant, who's embracing the city. He's from South Carolina. He's from a small town with Murray State. So, a
Hmm.
lot of people scared later in his career he might leave. I'm like, he's not a big city type of guy. Like, he's gonna embrace Memphis. He already got him at the top. So, you know, small town thing, it fits him very well. But
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
yep. But let's get to some comments real quick. Titans Time Podcast, tying up, what it do, tying up. Zach said, what's up, what it do? Titans Time Podcast, I already hit the like button, appreciate it. Yep, everybody hit the like button, subscribe, share it out. Ryan, my guy, what up, Shark, what up, BG? Yep.
What's going on, Ryan?
He was at the game last night. That's message for you. Yep. he got to, he got to see the Grizzlies beat Golden State last night, man. That was a fun
My
game to
mom
watch
was
on
there.
TV. For real.
Yeah, my mom was she, of course, uh, just broadcasting her everything about that game, because apparently she was in a suite and they had like all this food and stuff that she could eat, and I'm sitting at the house just jealous and wish I was there.
Right, man. I wish I was at the game, but I am going to the game Friday against your favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. That's on
I would
ESPN.
I would have been there. I would have been there. I would have also been in the building had this been a normal year. But we are expecting our second child next Friday. So
Oh
I'm too
wow,
close. Yeah, so we're too close to
yeah,
too close to everything, and I don't need to be too far away and something happens. So
dang,
I will be here and I'll be watching it on TV.
for sure. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Congrats. Yep.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hey, that's what's up. But speaking of your Mavs fandom, how did you become a Dallas? So I understand. So Memphis. So same thing with me. Backstory me. I grew up a Bulls fan. I saw like the tail end of Michael Jordan. So really,
Hmm.
when I became a fan, they were bad, and I was a
Hmm.
fan. I was literally a fan through all the bad years. Then got good, and Derrick Rose won MVP. Then what happened? Jimmy Butler became my favorite player.
Okay.
They traded Jimmy Butler.
Of course.
From that
Yeah.
point forward, being in Memphis at that point, when Grizzlies and Bulls played, I was always kind of torn anyway because hometown team versus favorite team. So when they traded Jimmy Butler, I just kind of like, yeah, they ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna follow like LeBron fans do. I'm gonna follow my favorite player.
Hmm.
But I'm becoming a full-time Grizzlies fan, but I'm gonna become a Miami Heat now. Miami Heat, I like Miami Heat because my favorite player.
Because
So
Jimmy, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So how did you become a Dallas fan? I mean, it's not that hard to believe. Like,
Similar to your story, I was a Bulls fan. There was, first when I was younger, Michael Jordan was everything sports related. So I followed his career all throughout Chicago as best I could as being a really really young person. I knew he was like the best player. He was just this larger than life person. Even today, I still think he is. Like, a
yeah,
lot of these guys still emulate Michael, even though he has been out the game and everything else. They are trying to be the next Mike, and and most fall short. People say LeBron is on the level, and I would disagree with that. But
me too.
either or. But after that, because I was not really a Bulls fan, I just followed Michael Jordan. Like, Michael Jordan was my guy. But when he left and I started to understand the game of basketball more, there was this real unique fellow down in Dallas that could shoot the basketball, that
Mhm.
was 7 feet tall.
Yep.
And the first and what tied it in was I always felt like I was gonna move to Dallas. In fact, before coming to Nashville, I had two job offers in Dallas, and I had accepted one
Oh.
before the job here called me at the very last minute and said, "Hey, we'll get you." And it turned out to be the best offer and probably the best decision I made, obviously. But I the first real trip that I went on with my school back when I was in band in like middle school was to Dallas, Texas. And for somebody who
Mhm.
grew up in Memphis,
Yep.
who mostly seen Memphis, I had some family that took me out of town as well, but that was my real first trip without any family. So I felt freer than normal. When you with your family when you're young, you
Yeah.
still kind of doing you're on their schedule. Where we
Mhm.
really was able to kind of go and hang out with my friends, and we had a blast in Dallas, Texas. It was just a blast, and that's really where it started. I used to watch Dirk, and I was like, man, who is this white dude
Mhm.
that is giving all these folks buckets? And I'm talking about Dirk. People need to go back and watch
Mhm.
young and prime Dirk. Don't go back to like these last few years of his career when he can barely run up the floor. But young Dirk will get a rebound and dribble the ball up the floor and dunk on. People think he's just a shooter. He used to dunk on folks' head. Now it wasn't no LeBron or
Nah.
Jordan type
But
deal, but it was a little. I'm finna
yep.
just one handed on you. And people forget, man. Dirk is one of the greatest players that the NBA has ever seen, and I was one of the few people in Memphis that really, really got some real hard licks from people who just could not believe I was a Maverick fan because back then it was the Lakers and all that stuff. So it was you a Maverick fan? What you like? Who are you? What is this? So I went through all the tough years, man, with the Mavericks. But when the Win 41 won his first championship, I was really happy for him. And I actually, true story, they won on a Sunday.
Mm.
The following Monday, I had no plan or whatever, but I had to get down to Dallas. So
Ah.
I got a friend of mine, and we got into a little cheap raggedy car and drove down to Dallas the very very next day, and we had like buy a hotel. It was crazy. It was just nuts, just being foolish and young. But I just had to be down there for that, and it was really cool. So yeah,
Man.
Dirk, and so it started with Dirk, and I just haven't left.
Man, I understand that. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I couldn't stand Dallas. Dirk, Steve Nash, and Michael Finley.
Yeah, yeah,
Golly, that was
yeah.
that team right there. Just bro, every time y'all played like the Bulls or the Grizzlies, it was like, man,
Oh yeah. See,
it
people
was
don't
over
forget,
with.
and I've been to a lot because back when the Grizzlies was really bad, they were like giving away those tickets.
Yeah.
So I volunteered for a community center, and they used to just give us tickets. So I was at almost every home game when they were really bad. And when Dirk and them came to the building, I would just be there with my little Mavericks jersey on and just having the time of my life. I'll be at the top, the nosebleeds, so
Uh-huh.
probably couldn't nobody hear me, but I was really, into them games where 41 was in the building. So I was at the game like on the third row when Dirk had his last game in Memphis a couple of years ago, and it was just good to see them treating him right because right now, as somebody who thought that Dirk was underappreciated for most of his career, it's really good to see people give him his flowers.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, really, after I understand that first finals against the Heat,
Hmm.
oh, kind of blew it, but the referees kind of interfered with
Hmm.
Dwayne Wade
Ooh,
getting all the
don't
free
get me
throws.
started.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
don't get me
well,
started.
that's all we can go another hour talking about that. But then, of course, the We Believe Warriors that happened. I hate to remind you, but after that, y'all ended up winning the championship, beating the big three in Miami.
Yes,
And that was just amazing playoff run,
yes,
beating the Lakers. 'Cause I hate the Lakers.
yes.
That was Jason Terry hitting shots when he said he couldn't see the rim. That was hilarious.
I have never felt more validated in my life, probably, than when we beat the Lakers series because I've been in this group chat with these two dudes for years and years and years, and I told them that when this series started, I said, "Now I've been telling y'all for years that the Mavericks could beat the Lakers because you remember they were two-time defending champs. They were
Hmm.
going for their
Yep.
three-peat
Third. Yep.
that season." Phil Jackson, and everybody knew that was his last year or whatever, and they were going for that three-peat that year. And I said, watch the Mavericks. I didn't nobody predict that they would sweep the Lakers like they did, but
exactly.
but it was just to see he went off this year. Powell couldn't do nothing with him. So it was really good to see that. And Kobe was still in his prime at that time. So it was just good to see. It was really good to see.
Yep, y'all run to LeBron Kobe finals. I was fine with it.
I was fine with it too.
But yeah, speaking back what you were saying about Dallas as a city, I finally got to go there a couple years ago. I was hoping Memphis football team, they made it to the Cotton Bowl against Penn State, and I was like, I'm about to take this trip. I'm about to see Memphis in the Cotton Bowl and get to see Dallas Stadium, and then I'm gonna travel down to Houston the next day to see the Titans play the Texans in the last game of the season, and that's when we clinched the playoff spot on the way to the AFC Championship. So that was a great weekend. And Dallas was a beautiful city. The expressways were confusing.
Oh yes, if you're not used to that, and they go high, they get high in Dallas. Yeah.
Outside of that, great stadium. The stadium, I was getting lost in that stadium. I'm not gonna lie. It was a great stadium, but it gets confusing. Some of them levels trying to find your seat and get out. But yeah, I mean, beautiful city, like I said, and that was the first time I learned about Michael Parsons in that bowl game. Memphis did well against Penn State, but Michael Parsons dominated, and I'm not shocked to see what he's doing right now in the league. Coming from that game. But and get some more comments. Ryan just out there. We saw that on Memphis. He said he was at the suite at the game. I remember that. He posted a picture. Said he might have met your mama.
I think I seen his picture in the suite. Yeah, I think I saw it.
Yeah, Pierce said go Pacers. Pacers fan over here. Okay. Fadeaway's on real because he was talking about, oh my God, Fadeaway podcast. My guy Darren and Tyler, man. Shout out to them. Because he was talking about Dirk. Yeah, Dirk was a problem back in the day, man, for sure.
He was.
Dirk had that ring grace on lock. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I was thinking the mask with the Lakers. That was Cup's last real chance to get another ring. Hey.
Dirk needed one. Okay,
he needed one.
Kobe has 5. Like I needed Dirk to get one. Okay.
But man, before we move on, man, what can people? If I ask you again late in the show, but where can they follow you at on social media?
So on Twitter, I'm BG901. Real simple. I am a truth teller, or at least my truth. What I feel is the truth at the time. I'm gonna say it. People think this fan of the year is supposed to somehow mute me from being critical of the Titans at specific points, and that is not the case. I am who I am, so I will remain that. And some people are turned off by it. How could you say that about them when they've done all? I mean, look, I'm a fan. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a real fan, but I'm not. It's not all peaches and creams with the Titans, and for somebody who's followed them as long as I have, I think most real Titans fan will say it has not been peaches and cream. And and this season hasn't either. We've had some ups and some downs in this season, but it's good to see us rolling at the right time. But Facebook, Brandon Galloway, real simple. I don't have any real special names or anything. On Instagram, I think I'm either BG_901 or BG901. But BG901 will probably get you to me. So that's where I am.
For sure, man. Like I said, great follow on Twitter. Like I said, truth teller, Titans, especially the males. Rolling about them.
Yeah.
The user, my guy Mike Patton, host of 2 on the AFC South show. I was on his show last week. First thing he said, like, "Oh, yeah, Brandon, I'll be sure to ask him about the males." Like,
yes. I can go all day about my little Mavericks down in Dallas. You talking about some people I'm pissed off. That little fan base is not very thrilled with me. Boy, my goodness.
I already know. But before we move on, let's take a break for this promo. Welcome to Let's Be Real Media, a podcast network that provides your official game plan for sports, culture, and music. Headlined by the Let's Be Real podcast, featuring P Shark, Scott Lido, Tel Shakir, Trevor, Sheedy, and Savage, and includes other podcasts like the I Don't Know Sports podcast by Savage, the Let's Tighten Up podcast by P Shark, Scooting with Sheedy by none other, the name says it itself, Sheedy, Pittsburgh County podcast by Trevor, and Let's Talk About It by Uncle Mike. You can follow us on social media at LB Real Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as you can see, the website go on the website, lbrealmedia.com to check us out. Thanks. Okay. Back again, and to add on to the promo, this Saturday, Let's Be Real Sports Podcast returns. We took a month hiatus over the holidays and everything because we don't record on Saturday. So tried to go to the Memphis Tennessee game, got canceled as soon as I got to Nashville. But hey, that's neither here or there. Let's move forward with the show, talking about the Titans. Week 18 review / really regular season review. So first question I got is like, and you already spoke a little bit on it, but what were your feelings about just the season in totality?
It's a good season, and a historic season from a standpoint of what we've had to accomplish, and how we overcame the adversity. A lot of people, including Titans fans, thought that when Henry went down and when we got that notification that he could potentially be out for the season, that this season was over, that we were done. And to see them rise above. I was at the game in Los Angeles, that Sunday night game.
I was too.
Okay, yeah. So it was a lot of fun to see kind of how that team figured out a way to take over that first half and kind of just hang on for the second half to finish their game out. And that's really what they've been doing. They try to play solid football, and when the turnovers aren't there, the Titans are very tough to beat, regardless on if Henry or AJ or Julio is out there. But the problem is that you got to have one of them out there. You can't roll with a squad, because I went off on Tannehill after one of them games, a couple of them games probably, but one of them in particular where he did not have a soul out there to throw the ball to.
Exactly.
And and I think sometimes fans, including myself, can just kind of get wrapped up in the disappointment, because we see, if you watch the games, there are still plays out there to be made.
Exactly.
But when you don't make them, regardless on who's on the field, it can be very frustrating to lose. And the games that we have lost have been the teams that I know and we all know that we're better than. And I think that's the most difficult part of it. If we go up to Los Angeles and they beat us, then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But you turn around and lose to the Jets and the Texans and the Steelers. It's almost like I shouldn't be feeling like this. And for me, and this is probably, my wife will tell you, just is probably nuts, but it takes me a couple of days to get over these losses. Like, I struggle. I really struggle. I try to watch all the games after we play them or whatever. But some of these games this year, I just haven't been able to watch because I've been so upset. So I try to keep my level head with some of these with how we are and what we do. I really like how they just operate. I really do. I think they operate in an efficient way, and it really does just come down to turn the ball over. So I think if these next couple games, man, or this next game, because we have to go one at a time, but we don't turn the ball over, I think we'll be Super Bowl champs. I really do believe that.
Man, same here. And just speaking of like getting overtaken a couple days ago for losses, I don't know if it's because me recording this podcast, me starting the podcast. I've been doing it for a little over a year now. I don't know if starting the podcast has helped me kind of overcome losses. But before the Jets game, funny story, I said it on this podcast. It was on a Sunday, went to church. Pastor challenged us. He said, "Don't complain." It was a sermon about complaining, like appreciate what you got. He challenged us. He challenged us not to complain for the next 24 hours. And I tweeted that. I was like, so he just challenged us to not complain for the next 24 hours, ... And I just left Twitter. And then we proceeded to lose to the Jets.
Yeah, you're a good one, because I would have just had to apologize for that one, because I not only were there going to be some complaints, there were going to be some bad words in the way I was going to be complaining, because that just lost. And we had Henry for that game. And I just But and the great thing about the whole season, and I'm going to say this on Twitter before we start, before the preparation starts, before the next opponent, is the Jets lost, the Steelers lost, the Texans lost, the big wins, the Buffalo, the Kansas City, the LA, all those wins. None of it matters at this point.
Nope.
Everything is out of the window. We are starting completely over. It is done with. Is whatever happened up to this point makes no difference in what happens these next couple games. And and that's kind of where and it's good to say that when you get the week off and you get the lowest seed in the first
Yeah.
game and stuff like that. But man, we gotta be ready to go. We
Yep.
got to be ready to go. Fans got to be ready to go. I hope that people know that you need to get there early for them big games where everybody in town will be there. Like we gotta. This is it. This is it. This is our shot.
Yep. Because last couple times we've been at home in the playoffs. Luckily, we're not playing the Ravens this year because that's the team we
Yes,
lost to
Lord.
at home. Man,
Yes.
and in reverse order, we beat them in Baltimore every time. So I
Yeah.
guess the road team always win the playoffs between those two teams. So we're not playing them this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last home game we won was 2004 against the Steelers, 2003 or 2004. I forgot which season. We beat them in overtime in the divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we lost to the Raiders. So it had to be 2003 because that was 2002 Buccaneers team. So, yeah, 2002,
Yeah.
2003
Yeah.
season. So, but piggyback to this season, and that Jets game changed me because I just complained in my head. Like my wife would ask me something, I'd be like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine." I'll just I'd be like, I'm not complaining. We lost to a bad team. It's it. I just let the day go by to get back on Twitter. Folks are tweeting me like, "Hey, you good?" I was like, I'm just ignoring. I was like, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up, and what's funny is I woke up Monday morning. I was like,
Bad feeling going into that game.
it
Like it was
was,
something about
it
that
was.
Jets game, and I don't know if it was Corey Davis. I don't know what it was about that Jets game, but I just had a bad feeling about the game. And and to be fair to Ron Tannehill, a lot of people don't think this, but to me, that was one of his best games.
It was.
He that fourth quarter that he got us in position to tie the game up and to get into overtime. That was, I mean, he converted quite a few fourth downs. That was a really good game for Ryan Tannehill. It was just we just couldn't get it all flowing. The Titans play complimentary football, and for that particular game, it just wasn't very complimentary. It just felt like we were playing a little bit of a hero ball type scheme. And we just, lost the game we shouldn't have lost.
Right. It's like, Julio and AJ out. So it's like, all right, we already down two our top receivers. Corey Davis revenge game. And it's like, I called it in the first half when we was on the up 9-0. And I was like, we're letting them hang around. And it's like, if you let a bad team hang around, you give them confidence. And I know a lot of people in the beginning of the season. So I predicted the Titans defense to start off slow, then get better as the season progressed, which they did. I predicted us to go 12-5 too, not the exact order how the games went. Expect us to lose some of the games we won and win some of the games we lose. But that's Titans history. We always lose to a bad team.
Oh, yeah.
We lost to the Bengals last year and Bills before that. And Josh Allen, what's that? Nick Williams dropped that touchdown. We ain't gotta go over the Colts when they were 0-14. That's every year with us. But
yeah, I have to give me something to drink here in a minute.
But it's like when we lost, it was like, all right, that's our bad loss. Let's move forward. We're about to make up for it. We're gonna make up for it on that 5-game stretch against the Chiefs, Bills, who was that? The Rams, the Colts, and Saints, and we went 5-0. I thought we were gonna go 4-1. We were 5-0 in this stretch. So, what I did realize this season is, and not so much it was Derrick Henry we were missing, but if Julio or AJ, if both of them were out, we definitely had no shot. If one of them was out, it was close.
The Texans game that we lost, I was in the stands just getting drenched.
Yeah.
I had never been so wet in some pair of clothes than I was that particular day. But I remember saying, because AJ, who I think Julio was already out that game, and AJ got hurt with some type of a chest abdomen injury, and I remember saying, it's going to be hard to score at this point. So, and I think they did score another touchdown. I think Dez caught his first touchdown, but then we tried to, we had momentum, we were rolling, and then Tannehill threw some interceptions because maybe, some miscommunications here and there. But when you're right, when we don't have one of those two guys on the field, it's tough, even because they've been running the ball well. The Titans have run the ball well, and when they haven't fumbled the ball and turned the ball over, the running game has done well.
Patriots game, Kylie.
That was
uh,
another game. I felt just. I was like, I would. I think I even put it on Twitter. I said, I wish our bye week was this week
this week, yes,
before the
man.
Patriots game instead of after it, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, man. And it's like you knew going to the game. It's like, man, it's all against us. And when you fumble, all the
Oh
times
yeah.
it just does it. So turnovers, and that's about the last half of the season. Like the games we turned it over
Hmm.
and we didn't get no turnovers, we lost. The games we
Hmm.
forced turnovers and then turned it over, we won. So that's how football works. No matter who you
Yeah.
play, you don't turn the ball over and you get turned up, force turnovers, you win the game. So,
Yeah.
but throughout the whole season, I mean, solid season. We got the number one seed. We're 12-5, get you the number one seed, but we'll take it.
Hmm.
Take it
Well,
anyway.
I
We
mean,
get
and it was only a game, because even in the NFC, I think it
13 and
was Green
4.
Bay. Yeah,
Yeah,
13-4. So it's only a game better. So
yeah,
12-5 is kind of. But because I think there were a couple teams in the NFC that got 12-5. But bottom
12-5.
line
Yeah,
is, I mean, we
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 got
should
it.
have won 3 games that we
Yeah,
didn't win. So it's like we should be in this position.
right.
I did make a comment that we probably didn't deserve it after that Steelers loss, but the Cincinnati Bengals helped us out and got that win. So, but at this point, it ain't no more favors. You know what I'm saying? We got to go in for it.
Right. No, no more. But we playing all good teams. We ain't got to worry about no bad teams from this
Yeah,
point forward.
that's true.
But the Steelers game, funny thing, I was in Nashville. Like I said, I went the Memphis Tennessee game got canceled that weekend, but
Hmm.
me and my wife were making a weekend out of it anyway. So I was sad the game got canceled, but it was like, hey, we was making the weekend anyway.
Hmm.
I was at a bar watching that game and we was up 13-3. And I remember getting a notification that Julio Jones was out again in the second half. And I turned right to my wife. I was like, I don't think we scored again.
Hmm.
I don't think we scoring again. I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, that lets you know like the big difference, like with one of
Yeah.
them off the field. Cause it's like Nick King Westbrook, he's had a good year, he stepped it up, but he can't be that he's
Your
a
number
number
one
three,
receiver.
number four. And when they have to
Yeah.
move up the pecking order, and that's
Yeah.
why
It's
when fans complain, doing off season, hey, why they got this person, number 4, number 5 receiver? I'm like, it doesn't matter who you're not gonna be that deep a receiver. If
not.
AJ Brown, Julio Jones, or Derrick Henry, any of them get hurt, I don't care who come in and replace them. They're not them.
Hmm. Right. That's
No
true.
matter what.
That's true. That's true.
At the end of the day.
That's why there is a depth chart.
Exactly.
That's why people are on the depth chart where they are.
And what hurt with Derrick Henry was like when he got hurt, our backup running back was out for the season. Darrington Evans.
Hmm.
So it's like,
Hmm.
dog. But and I remember the first time I said, because I didn't notice from last year, Deontay Foreman did well to me last year. So I thought we should
Hmm.
have brought him back. And they
Hmm.
didn't, I guess because Darrington Evans, right? And when I first know, I was like, oh, he's still a free agent. Sign him. And I mean, we
Hmm.
signed Adrian Peterson and him, but my whole mind
Hmm.
was like, Deontay Foreman is going to be better. I knew that like from the get go.
Hmm.
I was like, I saw it last year in him. I was like,
Yeah.
he's kind of similar style to Derrick Henry. He doesn't have
Hmm.
the breakaway game breaking speed.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what you
He's
missing
not the
with
home
Derrick
run
Henry.
hitter. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the only thing you missing. And to me, and I said, like, Derrick Henry's a great player. Running backs are easier to replace than wide receivers. That's just the
Hmm.
truth. Because if you have a good
Yeah.
offensive line, you can run the ball. Like, and that's what we
Yeah.
got. Go
And
ahead.
I mean,
Run
and
it.
if your running back is 6 foot, 6'4",
Exactly.
250, and with that type of speed and physicality, then you yards that you probably wouldn't get, you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as Derek is running confident and he can change the game just from his attention. And that's really what people, I've heard the last couple of weeks, and then it's taken everything in me not to call one of these radio stations about Julio, because people don't recognize just real. And I realize that his production has not been
Man.
what it's been, but I don't think we brought him here to go and catch
Yeah,
110 balls for 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns.
exactly.
What we needed was somebody who we could trust. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, the disappointing thing about Julio is he hasn't been able to stay on the field. But when he's been on the field,
Exactly.
his presence has helped more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, we need him, and I'm grateful that they targeting him a little bit more now, and he's been able to run some deeper routes, and
Yes.
they can try to get him the ball. But the biggest thing is, man, we hear, and PK and some of these other reporters, it's real easy to bag on the guy that's making a lot of money, that's older, that's been hurt or whatever. But the bottom line is, when he's out there, we're a better football team.
Exactly.
And that's really
And
and that's really what we need, especially come playoff time.
Yep. And a lot of reasons his production is down when he has played because he's been hurt. Remember, he missed 3 weeks of training camp. And
Mm-hmm.
then Ryan Tannehill had COVID. Like
Mm-hmm.
quarterback and wide receiver chemistry matters.
Oh, yeah.
That's why AJ Brown got 17 targets in his first game back against the 49ers. Because
49ers, right. Exactly.
he knows where AJ Brown's going to be. Like, you got to develop the chemistry. And you could tell going to that Houston game, they finally had time to develop some little bit of chemistry. And he was starting to find Julio in spots. And I was just glad when Julio ran a deep route. Tannehill overthrew him and that would be a touchdown. First thing I was looking for is he about to touch that hamstring.
Yeah.
And he just did that, like, dang, I threw a hell touchdown. I was like, yes, he good. We got to play out.
That's the winner. Yeah. Because when he came back, I was telling people, man, we shouldn't use him unless it's red zone. Don't even put him in the game unless it's red zone, because even in the warm-ups, when I was and I always get to the game super early so I can watch him warm up. But even in the warm-ups, I always felt when they had him out there running routes, it's like I feel like he's still dragging that leg. It feels like it. And then they get in the game and something happens and he's out. But Vrabel has done an amazing job just kind of playing these guys, man, and trying to keep them upright. And I think he did what he's done. I think he's been cautious on some of them, but because he knew that this time will come and we wanted to be healthy. And sure enough, looked like we're gonna get the big guy back, and he looks small for somebody who Derrick Henry size. He looks, when you watch him now in practice, he looks skinnier, a little bit more leaner. But I mean, the dude is a huge plus, and just the confidence that he'll bring and his presence back on the field will be huge in the playoffs.
Exactly. And I think I said that on Mike Payne's tour in the AFC South. Check my guy out. Really good stuff. I think I said the last week, I was like, he was asking me, what do I expect from Derrick Henry? I was like, if he's not himself, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing with Julio. Julio not himself. Both of them being on the field is going to command attention. The defense is going to put 8 in the box. Whether Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry or he's not Derrick Henry. Just on the simple fact that he's out there. If Julio's out in the field, they not about to one-on-one cover him. Like they gonna keep an eye. Like, it's still Julio. Like,
right. And then we got AJ on the other field. And now what's really helpful for the Titans is Ferguson has come, is waking up. So finally he is giving us some pretty good production, specifically in the red zone and on third down, which is really what we need. So if we can get that, man, we'll be okay. We just can't turn the ball over.
Yeah, that's the key. And I think I told Mike last week, I trust Tannehill with everybody on the field. And you can go to any given quarterback. Tom Brady got shut out by the Saints when his weapons were out. I saw Dak Prescott on that same day. Tannehill threw the 4 picks against the Texans. Dak was missing his weapons. He had a bad game. He had like 2 or 3 picks. So I'm like, I don't care.
Brady.
Yeah, they'll say he got shut out.
Same thing happened to Brady. Yeah, and he got shut out against the Saints because he didn't have none of his guys out there. And I put on Twitter, I said, well, even the GOAT needs his players to perform. Who knew?
Like, I don't care who you are. You need your weapons out there. So I know it was one of my guys, me and him real cool, Isaac Simpson. He said something about, I told Ty shouldn't pay Tannehill because he need his weapons out there. When people are out, he can't win you a game. I was like, that's any quarterback.
Man, what good is a mechanic without his tools?
Right.
You need your tools out there.
It's any quarterback. And he hasn't turned the ball over in 3 games after having a streak where he turned it over almost for like 7 straight games. So he on the streak now. Let's keep it rolling.
Keep it going.
Like Ryan said, those injuries were a blessing in disguise now because the roster looks more well balanced on both sides of the ball. Shout out David Long. I started to get a little worried. They never put him out though. He's back now. We got Zach Cunningham. I mean, we literally like
super deep.
Everybody is back.
We're so deep at linebacker right now that they got Cunningham playing snaps on special teams. And like Rashaan Evans only got like 2 snaps this past Sunday, and Jayon was a healthy scratch. So that's a good problem to have from this time of the year when we got that much depth at linebacker. I've seen some people asking if the Titans will look at Will Compton. I'm like, dude, we are linebackered out at this point. We don't need no more linebackers. Even though I like Will and I want Will on the team. I want him to be a part of it. But dude, we got some of the linebackers. He'll have to get out there and play defensive end or something.
Exactly. Will, man. It was one, I forgot what he asked, but you remember somebody asked, I think it was Teron Davenport asked Mike Vrabel a question for Will Compton.
For Will, yeah.
He was like, tell Will to ask his own questions, man.
Will a trip.
It's funny. But Let's go. What was your favorite moment of the season? I know mine. Like I said, we're in LA. Matter of fact, I remember when you posted your seat because I think I tweeted you said, man, I literally sat probably in the same spot you said it on the other side of the stadium.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's mine because that's my first time ever in LA. As soon as I saw the schedule, when the schedule came out last year in May, I was like, LA Sunday Night Football, I'm going. Like I'm going. There's no way. Stuff
That
happened on
was
the
my
way
first
there.
time that was my first time in Los Angeles as well.
Wow.
And that I remember. I think we went out when I was a real small kid, but I don't remember anything about that. But it was definitely my first time that I as an adult. And I think when I start thinking about the favorite moment of the season, I think it would probably be there was at that game, there was this guy in front of me that and he, I mean, nice guy, right? He was there with his family. You can tell that they were like season ticket holders or whatever. And but when they did something, because they came out firing, like they picked off
Yeah.
Tannehill early and all this other stuff. And man, that dude looked back at me, and you can tell that he was saying something, like he would say something out loud, but then say it to me. He was he was passively saying it and kind of looking at me or whatever. So, but in my mind, I was like, man, I hope we beat these dudes just so this dude can shut up. And when Byard got that pick six, the second touchdown, I knew then. I said, "Oh, this game's over. It's a wrap." Because these dudes have come to play, and we've always historically we've done well against Stafford.
Yep, exactly. And my favorite moment was that pick six. When that happened, it was like, and thank you. I don't, we saw fights happen in the stands and everything.
Oh yeah.
I was glad. I was grateful for my section. I was by some cool Rams fans, some realistic fans that was like, like, man, Stafford good, but everybody keep putting the blame. And I saw that at the game. I was like, everybody put too much blame on Detroit. And ever since then, I have believed in the Rams. Cause I was like, I don't trust Stafford in the playoffs. Like, we blame Detroit too much for his struggles.
Yeah, Stafford had Calvin Johnson. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you got one of the biggest specimens ever to play, and dude retired while you were at quarterback. You just don't see that. You imagine. I'm sorry. Imagine if Randy Moss had Brady for his entire career
and retire.
It's something not right about that. But some people do like to just overlook the Stafford dynamic in it all, and I'm like, no, we need to look at Stafford because even when the Titans weren't as good as they are now, Stafford struggled against the Titans and was throwing. He people with these arm talents, sometimes they can get a little too greedy and do some weird stuff with the ball. He's one of those players.
Yep, exactly. And that was the game I definitely knew our defense was like, we here.
Legit. Yeah.
That front four, we finally here. We finally did what I predicted us to do. Like, we here.
Yeah. It was good to see Big Jeff get them 3 sacks when Aaron Donald was there too.
Right. And really, I would say the Chiefs game probably was the definite game we showed up in. But that game, being there in person in LA on Sunday Night Football, it was like, oh yeah. By throwing the football standpoint at the camera, it was like, bro, let's go.
The Chiefs game was just awkward in a sense because like we were watching it and it was like, I can't believe
they're not going to score.
They are just going to fold like they were folding. Like it was just like, they're not even going to. They're folding. It's bad right now. So, and when we knocked the old boy out with the concussion, I was like, oh yeah, I better get that boy off the field. I better get him off the field before his season is ended in Nashville.
There you go, Ryan. He said his favorite moment was the Josh Allen slip game.
That was the best football atmosphere that I have ever been in my life.
Nice.
By far. That game, and I've been a season ticket holder for like, I think this is year 4 for me now. And that game was the loudest I have ever heard it. It was the best football atmosphere I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. You hear it on TV. I know a lot of people, Titans, we always get this complaints about other fans taking on the stadium. I heard the Titans fans do that TV.
Not that night. Titans fans took something personal that night because there were Bills fans there, and there were a lot of them there. But there were definitely more Titans fans there, and we wanted that game. the city showdown. So I'm expecting these playoffs to look somewhat similar to, or even better than what that Bills thing looked like, because that was by far the loudest the stadium got this year.
Yeah, I expect the same. And also, the moment from that game I will never forget is Derrick Henry broke off that 76-yard touchdown. It was a Bills fan on the front row. They just
Yeah,
posted him on ESPN. He was just
he
like,
had this little weird look on his face. Yeah. I remember
I
him.
would,
Yeah,
I probably still got the picture saved somewhere. I
yeah,
tweeted that time like, oh, bro,
yeah. He was like, whoa,
oh,
and we were all
he
like,
attacked like,
that was something crazy, to see somebody that big hit the acceleration through them safeties like
mm-hmm,
he did. That was something, because they just stopped running. And by
yep,
the time Derek got to the 20-yard line, them safeties, it was like, okay,
yep.
he's not catching him. We'll let him go. Get
And,
ready.
and it's funny. It still amazes me every time. It's like, well, I guess anytime amazing players do amazing things. Like right now, the Grizzlies. I've seen Ja Morant since his rookie year. He's still
Mhm.
amazing me every single time I watch him in person.
Oh
Derrick
yeah,
Henry,
yeah.
Derrick Henry, that run, that Seattle Seahawks, that long run he had in that game,
Hmm.
he stiff on a dude from the back. I'm like, it still
Hmm.
amazes me
Just
like how
crazy.
fast he is. Like it's
Yeah.
like, dog.
Yeah, it's just it's different. It's different. It's uncommon, and people throw that word around a lot now. Different and otherworldly and iconic and legendary and
That's
elites. We hear
yeah.
elite on everybody now, but Derek is a different dude, and the best experience of my fan of the year part was, we, and a lot of people probably don't know this either, but my wife and I were able to sit in a conference room at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa,
Oh
and we
wow.
just were able to talk with Derek for about a good hour. And I mean, and my wife was really looking at me weird, because she like, y'all just talking like you've known this man forever. And but he was that cool, he was that down to
Cool.
earth, and he was a regular dude. I mean, he is just a regular person with a big heart. He told me if I needed something from him, or if I was doing something with some kids or whatever, he'd be more than happy to kind of help financially get them to the games and things of that nature. So this year that would have been a legendary year for Derek. I felt
Mhm.
really bad when he went down. Not necessarily because he's just this great player, but just he is an awesome, awesome human being. He did a lot of stuff for me and my wife, and just really, really nice, talking with us, taking pictures with us. We went all around that doggone stadium,
Mhm.
and met up with Russell Wilson and Sierra, and I mean,
Nice.
we just did a whole bunch of stuff that a lot of people don't know about. But he was real big and wanted to present me that trophy
Mhm.
for the fan of the year, and did a really good job. We rehearsed it like 3 times, and he knocked it out on the first take, so it was really good.
Nice, man. That's good to hear. Like, and you could tell by the way he talking in press conference. You could tell, like, some people, you don't never know a person till you like around them. But
Hmm.
I know he a good dude. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just hearing you say
and
that, it's just I know.
yeah, a lot of people, I've heard people say, you don't want to meet your idols if they play football, and I don't really have an idol per se. These are grown men with a job. I'm a grown man with a job, so I get it. They play for my favorite football team, but I will tell you, with Derek, I hope Derek stays with the Titans forever. I hope,
Yep.
even when things start to, decline on his career physically, as they do with all players, I hope that we find a way to keep him involved with because he is a great, great person to have your franchise kind of, modeled after. And if there was somebody that was going to take the pole or the throne from Eddie George, it
Yep.
couldn't go to a better person than Derek Henry.
Yep. Sure, for sure. My guy Kent Woods, what up, guys? Tighten up, man. Tighten up. Appreciate you tuning in. And last question, playoff expectations. You already said you expect the Super Bowl, but I guess yeah, what's your actual just playoff expectations?
So I am, and this is going to sound really stupid, and I realize that, but like, I am one of the people who think about it like as the coach does. So like, for me, I just want to win the next game.
Yep.
That's all I want. I just want to win the next game. I don't care who we play, as long as when we step off that field, whatever day that we play next weekend, as long as we win. So that's my expectation, is for the Titans to win. Now, how it looks, it ain't gonna be pretty, because
Yeah.
it's never pretty with the Tennessee Titans. But I hope that that's my expectation. So I don't want to say Super Bowl because I don't want to jinx none. I do
Mhm.
have those superstitions and stuff like that out there. So I ain't trying, there you go around. I'm not trying to
Yep,
put
one game at a
nothing,
time.
no type of real anything. I just expect for the Titans to get out there and get the city what the city needs, and that's a win. Let's win the first game, and then we can get on to the second one.
Yep, same here. Like I said, we lost the last 2 times. We had a home game. It's time to finally win a home game.
Let's do it.
Win
Let's
that
do it.
first. Let's win. I don't care what we're playing. Well, 1 3
In
teams
this
people get to the
city,
games.
yes, in this city and that stadium will be rocking. I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Yep, man. It's exciting times. Like I said, number 1 seed. Whew. But I mean, I told my guy Mike Patton, I was like, I'm pretty confident. This is the most confident I have been since 03 to 04, the year Steve Manera won co-MVP.
Hmm.
And yes, I did skip over 2008 because I did not believe in Kerry Collins.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sue me, I didn't believe in Kerry Collins. I just didn't.
Ooh,
I didn't
Lord.
think. Yeah, I didn't expect us to lose the first playoff game, but I didn't believe Kerry Collins would carry us no Super Bowl.
Man,
I didn't see
the
that.
way they just fumbled that game away.
Yep,
Oh my God.
literally.
It just fumbled it away
Hey,
every time.
it's crazy. I wasn't mad. Like I was mad by the play clock value. Like the play clock
Hmm.
went out and they ain't called a penalty. I was mad, but I also was like, we fumbled twice. We blew it.
Yeah.
Like that, we did this ourselves. That didn't lose us the game. We fumbled
Hmm.
twice in the red zone.
Hmm.
That's what I
Yep.
lost.
Yep. And I couldn't talk to nobody. I couldn't talk to nobody. I can listen to the radio. Didn't want to watch TV. Didn't want to watch no more football. It's just, ooh, boy. So I need this win. Like
Yeah.
I need this for my health and my sanity, especially when I'm about to have no sleep because I'm gonna have a baby.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I just got married last year. We gonna wait a little second.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we gonna wait a little second on the kids part. Got some friends. I know
Take your time. Take your time, my guy.
Yeah, man, we will. We definitely will. Ryan got another comment. He said, I was more mad about 2000 playoffs. Oh, yeah. When we lost the Ravens, man. I'm excited.
But
Ray Lewis.
that Ravens team was really tough,
That defense.
and we did some real stupid stuff later in that game. And Ray Lewis, but it's one thing to lose that way when you lose when a Hall of Fame player makes that type of play,
Mhm.
kind of looking back on it. But the way we lost that last home
Last
game, I mean, and even last year's game,
year. Mhm.
with everything how they went down, it's like, man, what are we out here doing? Like, what is this? But this year, I mean, they've had those experiences, so I'm expecting fireworks, and I know this city will step up to the plate and be behind those guys 100%.
Yep, most definitely. I got a day off from work saved for a parade to travel to Nashville.
There you go. There you
So
go.
I'm preparing for that.
Yeah.
But let's get to the move on from the Titans to the NFL wild card. Good thing we ain't got to play in wild card, and also the
Yep.
Colts ain't got to play in wild card. Mr. MVP himself, Jonathan Taylor. Ain't got to play in wild card weekend, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Jags.
Yeah, I have some words for the Colts because I have never seen a team that is so confident yet so bad at the same time. I've never seen that. And it is just too many of those people that are linked up with the Colts that we want the Titans in the first round. The Titans are going to be one and done. This, that, and the third. I'm like, dude, let's
Get to the
make the
playoffs.
playoffs. Let's make it first. Let's do that with your superstar quarterback and MVP running back. Let's do that. Y'all got the superstar quarterback, the MVP running back, this underrated coach and underrated D line and all this stuff. Okay, well, show me that. I need to see that. I need to see that. Then you lose to the Raiders and lose to the Jaguars. Man, get out of here.
But shout out to my guy Chris Lewis, Drop Balls Podcast. Had him on to preview the Colts game. He's a Colts fan. He's one of the cool Colts fans. He did congratulate the Titans on the #1 seed and stuff. So
Good deal.
man.
Because they kicked our butts for a long
years.
time. So
yeah, exactly.
You won't see a Titans fan feeling bad for the Colts these days at all.
Hey, it's crazy. it was wild to me that the stat that they hadn't won in Jacksonville since 2014. Something was just when I saw that, I was like, Jacksonville was only good one of them years. And it's not like Jacksonville's been good. So they hadn't beat them in 7 years. So that means they lost, on the road in 7 years. So that means they lost to a bad Jacksonville team for
Oh
6
yeah.
of those 7 years, right?
But you have those matchups though, because even Brady, when he was with New England, he struggled to win in Miami.
Yep, and that's what I was telling when the Patriots was number 1 seed, and people was like, they was the Patriots, oh, they might keep number 1 seed. I don't see them losing. I'm like, that game in Miami when they lost 2 more times before that, but I was like, the Miami game, they haven't won in Miami in a couple years, even with Brady. Like it's something about Miami weather with them. I don't know what it is. They can't win it no matter what team it is. So it's all right.
Yep.
I mean, we got the Jaguars number. We don't ever have to worry about them outside the Gardner Minshew that one time, but we're pretty good.
That's that. I'm gonna tell you that game was that was a Thursday night game when Minshew came and beat us, and I was never. I think it was in Jacksonville, because we had the Titans threw a watch party, and I knew then I was like, I don't know if Marcus is going to be the guy.
Yeah,
that's when I really started having some doubts, and I didn't say it out loud because I wanted it for him so bad. But I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's one of the players. Still love him to this day. Every time he come on the field with the Raiders, he's like, let's go Marcus. But it's like the injury. That injury did. It's like when he had broke his ankle. Then the actual, I honestly feel like he never got like wherever that showed elbow injury was. He
nerve issue.
He didn't have the accuracy no more. Like he had accuracy before the injury.
Yeah, and I think Marcus went into last season with that same injury, and this was after he had set for over half the year when Tannehill took over, and then he is still dealing with that injury when he signed with the Raiders, and they let him. They had to bring in the Peterman guy to back up Carr, so Mariota can go and kind of get himself healthy, and it was like until last year where he really got back healthy to where he can play. And I just don't think Marcus is just a very durable NFL player. I just think he's not durable enough to play the style of offense that he needs to be successful. I don't think he's durable enough to do it. Even this year, the first play of the game when the Raiders played the first game.
I remember that. I was like, of course. Oh, of course. He broke out a long run to Gary.
Yeah, he breaks out the long run and he's out for 4 or 5 games. It's just like, no, we good.
I look at the times with the Titans. I was like, they ran the offense like Baltimore do for Lamar Jackson, like Philly is starting to do with Jalen Hurts. He would have been more successful, but he had been durable, and he wasn't durable as a pocket passer, so I don't think he would have been. I honestly thought he would be like you remember Jake Locker retired because he had all those injuries, and once his contract ended, he just retired. I actually wasn't. I thought for a second, I could see Marcus Mariota retiring because like he just had all these injuries, similar to Jake Locker. Like you showed flashes, but you had every time you showed the flash, you had an injury or you was inconsistent. It just like at some point, it's like Andrew Luck. I'm looking at him the other day. He looked happy. He's like, man, hey,
Andrew Luck looks at peace and he looks normal. He does not look like a professional football player anymore.
He don't.
And he is living his life. He is not worried about it. And that was a great thing to see from somebody who's a Titans fan. Just enjoy your retirement, brother. Enjoy it. Love it. Stay out there.
Never beat that man. A lot of the games were Luck. Like his last name is Luck for a reason. A lot of the games were like a little like.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's that type of deal. Like we get up there and it's something mental when you play the Colts for whatever reason. He had our number. But then again, we got a much better team now. So I would wonder if that streak would have been broken by now because Tannehill is 13-3 against the AFC South since he's become the starter.
Yep, man. Ryan MVP got 77 yards.
Tragic.
They tried to push him to the MVP.
Yeah, and they had old Trevor Lawrence out there looking like he is about to head to the Hall of Fame.
Man, I ain't seen him look that good all season. Marcus is like the girl you broke up with on good terms because y'all were 2 different people, but cordial enough to be friends. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife is from Hawaii, so she has a sensitivity in her heart for Mariota. So when I start talking crazy about him, she's like, "Leave him alone." So it's real fun to see how she responds. Like she don't know what's going on with him now. She just know that he was the Titans quarterback, and she felt like that we put too much pressure on. Bless her heart.
Yeah, he just didn't make it.
He sucks. I'm done with Mariota.
Man, but to move on to the wild card pick. Speaking of Mariota, that's the first game starting with the Raiders and Bengals.
I have Raiders vibes for this game. I do. Which probably means the Bengals will win. But I have Raiders vibes for this game because for whatever reason, the Bengals just haven't been here before,
Yep.
and they got some really really young guys, and this time of year, I think I would probably trust Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and Darren Waller to probably make a couple more plays.
And this is a tough one. I am along with you. I think I do like the Raiders in this game. Kind of the same reasons. Mike Pat had me rank the order of teams, and like my concern from the Chiefs, Bills, Pats, and Bengals. And I know the Bengals were the hot topic. They beat the Chiefs. And they riding high. And I was like, I put the Bengals at 4, and it was because of what you just said. It's inexperience, and also the Raiders are not exactly playoff experience, but they're veteran players, right? And to me, I was like the Bengals, they're inexperienced, their defense, lack of defense, and the inexperience you got to be experienced to win in all pro sports. I mean, to win a championship, to like be legit contender. And I could see the Raiders, they're riding high. They won 3 or 4 in a row to get here. Man, they've had so much happen this season for them to make the playoffs. From my Henry Ruggs situation to John Gruden situation to the cornerback. Their 2 first-round picks they lost, and it's for them to do it. I'm happy for Derek Carr. I've always thought he was a decent quarterback, and he's been kind of, to me, he's been handed a bad deal almost every single year he's been in the league with the Raiders.
And he's been disrespected. A lot of people felt like with Marcus, when they saw Marcus, he would eventually start for
exactly
for the Raiders.
I was like, nah, Derek Carr's
like, y'all be so disrespectful to that man. And he came out and said it. Like he said, I feel disrespected. And I said, I know you do. If you see Marcus Mariota every day at practice and turn around and you got people telling you that he's gonna be the starter over you, I will feel disrespected too. I'm sorry. I'm done with Marcus.
I already know. We got Ryan like the Raiders in this game. I got Fat Boy Fadeaway. Darren, man, you're a Raiders fan. Come on now. He's just speaking, keep it real for your team. Can't go out 3rd and 4th down. And the Bengals will go for on 4th down because they did on fourth from the 1-yard line twice in a row against the Chiefs. They almost blew it. But hey, like I said, we'll see. Or you said I have disrespect as a Raiders fan. Hey, you just keeping it real as your team, man. You know your team. But next game, Steelers and Chiefs. Should we even go by this?
Well, there is a way for the Chiefs to win it, and his name is TJ Watt. TJ Watt was a sack away from breaking
it.
straight hands record for the sacks. And the Steelers I think they tried to petition the league to give him that extra sack on a tackle for loss. Tackle for loss play that he had made or whatever. And the league denied him. And I think if he can mess around, because he has the ability to control a football game from the defensive side, and very few players can do that. But if he could find a way to give Ben 2 to 3 extra possessions that game, they will have a chance. The problem is that's going to be very unlikely to do in Arrowhead. And I think the Chiefs will win that game by at least. I think it will be closer. They played earlier in the year and the Chiefs just blew them out. I think it will be. I think it will be closer. I don't think they will let them blow them out as bad, but I do see them winning by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yep, Ryan
or at least 2 scores. Yep.
Ryan said they can make it interesting, but eventually the Chiefs win. I'm on the same path with both of y'all. I think last game, it was a couple weeks ago. They kind of blew them out from the get-go. I was thinking if they can force a turnover or 2, and that's what's happened in Chiefs games this year. Like turnovers, they change games. If they can do like us, we turned it over 4 times in their territory. They literally won off 4 field goals. If they can make some forced turnovers, they can make it interesting. But I do believe eventually the Chiefs will roll away with the win, like I said, by about 2 scores. Won't be, I think last time they were up at like 30-0 at halftime, but I don't think it's gonna be like that.
Right.
Big Ben ain't going out like that. He gonna fight.
No, and they'll play better. The Chiefs are not as dangerous or as explosive as people try to make them seem.
Yep.
And really, what you have to do is you have to get pressure on Mahomes with your front four. I think, like I said, if Watt can get back there, I think he can change the game, but it will still be close because they struggle. They struggle to score. The Pittsburgh Steelers struggle to score on offense. So they're going to have to do something. And I absolutely think they need to score first. If they get the first touchdown and can kind of put some of that early pressure on Kansas City, I think they may be able to keep it really close to maybe, shock the world, but it's hard to do in Arrowhead. Arrowhead is a very tough place to play.
And it's crazy. This Steelers team remind me a lot of that Titans team with Mike Mularkey's last season when we made the playoffs and we ironically beat the Chiefs in the first game. Difference is
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead. The difference is Alex Smith, Pat Mahomes, hey, that's a huge difference right there. But that team, because that Titans team, that offense was that for what was it, Exotic Smash Mouth? That was horrible to watch this season. I was I know I got Steelers. I got my guy, a couple of Steelers fans who didn't want the Steelers to make the playoffs because they were like they just want to rebuild, and all this. And I was kind of same with the Titans that year with Mike Mularkey because I wanted him gone, and I was like, we make the playoffs and win the playoff game. I was like, dang, they might not fire him. We did it anyway. Shout out to John Robinson because I was like that it wasn't sustainable. We wasn't going to do anything next year.
And really, you get lucky. You get them games, and that's why they play them because you get. Titans Twitter. Somebody's not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I really do not think the Titans win a game if Travis Kelce does not get hurt.
Me too.
Travis Kelce gets knocked out of the game with a concussion, and if he does not get hurt in that game, I do not think that we win it. Because Marcus in that offense could not score 23 points. And I was at lunch with a friend of mine that I work with, and I told him, we cannot score 23. So whatever the score needs to be, if we're going to win it, it has to be under 23. And I think we ended up winning the game like
22
to 21. Yeah. So it was like because then of course we played the Patriots and they scored 30-something points. So it was a wrap after that. But like 23 points was the max that offense could roll with. And even that game, we had Marcus throwing catching balls. Yeah, it's just just the weird stuff that happens in some of these playoff games that we got lucky on. But we were not better than the Chiefs. We just happened to really upset them.
Yep, exactly. And I was like, man, shout out to John Robinson because after that, it took him. I guess it took because Marvin Larkin wanted to keep Terry Robisky, and that was the final. I was like, please, we bring that back down. We was about to go back down to rock bottom.
Yeah, and I would have lost my mind. They probably would have never gave me fan of the year because I would have lost my mind on Twitter.
Oh man, we would not be where we at now.
I would have lost it.
Yeah, definitely. And the next game, and finish off the ALC, Patriots and Bills. It should be the most interesting game of the weekend. Who you got?
So this one is going to be a little bit tricky, but because the Bills are at home, I am going to pick the Bills. I think if this thing was in Gillette, I think it may be a little bit closer. But the Bills, they play much better at home. I think that they're going to struggle to. I think this will be a close game because for whatever reason, the only running threat that they have in Buffalo is Josh Allen. So, and for whatever reason, they let him throw the ball 40 and 50 times, and I just don't think that's a real formula of winning. I think that's the real reason why Aaron Rodgers has only one championship. It's because people think that Brady is out there throwing 50 and 60 times in these playoff runs. They are running the football. And that is in playing good defense. And that's, I think that's going to be the Bills until they get a real running game and that they can run with their running back. I think that's going to be a struggle for them, but I do see them beating the Patriots.
Yeah, interesting thing you said on Brady. I know people criticize me for saying that, but his first 3 Super Bowls, he was a game manager quarterback. He was
and
Alex
there's
Smith.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he was Alex Smith for those first 3 Super Bowls. He had a great defense. They ran the ball well. He made great. He made time. He was clutch. definitely clutch. He made time to
Mm-hmm.
place, and they won. He
Yeah.
didn't become elite to me to that year with Randy Moss, that undefeated year. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? They lost Super Bowl throwing the ball
Mm-hmm.
50 times.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what happens. That's what happens. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple. Too many superstars can be counterproductive.
Yep. So like I said, this game is weird. I'm leaning more towards the Bills, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Patriots upset them. They both teams won. The road team won both games this season, but the Bills, like I said, no running game hurts, but they do have their defense is top tier, or at least their passing defense. So I
Mm-hmm.
see. Ryan said he think the Patriots. He said he think the Patriots will upset the Bills, and he also said they can run the ball. The Bills can't stop the run, and weather's supposed to be bad. Oh, like the first time they played in Buffalo. Hmm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where old
interesting.
boy threw 3 times.
Interesting.
Just the wildest thing in the world.
Feels
Just,
like
I
a
mean,
must win.
they running the ball.
Yep.
They running the ball, and you can't stop it. That's a you talking about you trying to win the Super Bowl. That's what
Yeah,
you know.
and that's why I'm believing the
That
Bills.
they'll struggle, and they came to Nashville and threw the ball all over the place. They looked really good here, but I think
We were still that
trying
defense
to
still wasn't.
find
Yeah,
ourselves. Yeah,
we
we were
weren't there
trying to
yet.
find ourselves at that point, but now the Bills have regressed, and
Hmm.
they look definitely beatable. It would not surprise me if they're an early exit because they can't run the ball.
Yep, exactly. I'm gonna pick the Bills because they're a better team, but that's one. Like I said, it's Bill Belichick in playoffs, but I'm gonna
Hmm.
choose the experience over the rookie quarterback. I think Mac Jones is going to give him a couple
Hmm.
picks or so
Hmm.
and give the Bills the game. And Fairway said it feels like a must win for Bills franchise. Slick dude, since they fell off, they had all that hype coming to this season, coming to the game on Monday night. They had all that, and they're the best team in the
Yeah,
NFL.
I don't know if it's a must win though, because I do believe if they were able, I think if they try to throw the ball 40 times and realize like we need a legitimate
They're
running
gonna try
game,
to run, yeah.
I think they'll go out and really address that in the offseason and come back stronger next year.
Cause that's the only thing they're missing. The defense is good.
Hmm. Oh,
I
they
know,
are a solid football team.
yeah. I know Ryan said they can't stop the run. To that point, to his point, that's true. When they play against like an elite running team, they
Hmm.
struggle. When they play, they are top tier on running because I wish the Titans do what they do. They beat up on the lesser
Hmm.
opponents. They usually whoop
Right.
them. Yeah, the
That's Matt
Titans.
Stafford.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's
They
his
do
whole
that.
career.
And that's how they stats on run defense get up there. But when
Hmm.
they play against Derrick Henry and the other top tier running backs, they
It's
kind
a
of
wrap.
the Patriots the first time or the Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, they
Hmm.
do struggle against top tier backs. So that's a real interesting game. It's a lot of rematches this week as well. All three of those games, all those teams played each other this season. But the next one, these teams to play each other this season, but of course, it's two of the biggest fan bases franchises in NFL history: 49ers, Cowboys.
Give me the 49ers all day. I'm completely expecting the 49ers to win their ball game. Completely. Almost 95% for sure. Because the
Man,
Cowboys, and I hate to sound like Stephen A. Smith because
I was
I'm
about
not
to
his
say
biggest
Stephen
fan,
A.
but you talking about an accident waiting to happen. That is what the Cowboys are. And I think as long as they have now, you say you went to Dallas. Did you tour the practice stadium?
No,
Woo! Next time you
nice.
go, you gotta tour it.
Okay,
It's the most spectacular.
definitely.
It's better than the stadium. I've toured their stadium twice. I've toured their practice facility once. The practice facility is more impressive than the stadium,
Wow,
but it is that reason why they cannot get it together because
that's
they
so
care
nice.
more about how it looks. And I'm telling, and I've told people this: NFL football, I can and even SEC football in college, it is ugly. It
Mhm.
looks pretty, right? Because you see these folks moving up and down the field, but they are winning in the ugly areas of the game. They are winning on the lines, and that's why the Titans are so
Yep, where
dangerous
we
this
at?
year because they will have an advantage on the offensive line and
And
the
defensive
defensive
line.
line for the
Mhm.
first time, and it is ugly and it's not pretty and it is smash mouth. It is heavyweight. It is big boy football and these little cute teams like the Cowboys and the Bills, they
Chiefs.
struggle with these hard nosed like these little rugged teams. And I think the Cowboys are going to find that out real quick. Like and not to say that the 49ers are a hard nosed team because we just beat them up. in Thursday, and I really felt like if Jimmy would have made a
Jimmy
couple
G,
throws, they probably
he
would
gave
have
us
came
that
on
one.
top. But
Shout
yeah,
out to
but
him.
but that's the style of our play though. We want to beat you up, and we'll be selective in our head shots, but most of our hits are body shots, and those things will get you over time. The Cowboys are just too pretty.
Yep. You said it. Couldn't say it for myself. Ryan said 49ers. I got the 49ers too. It just feels like I don't even necessarily trust Jimmy G, right? But
Hmm.
Dak Prescott, I haven't seen him produce against good teams. And even I
Hmm.
got Cowboys fans saying that when has he beat a team with a winning record? Like
Hmm.
it was a literal Cowboys fan on his podcast. This whole he literally broke it down. It's like, bro, like who has he beat? Like when he
Getting what, 43, $45 million a year.
Mhm.
It's just astonishing to me, and it's so funny that for whatever reason, Jerry has made the Cowboys brand so great that they are. You would think that, I don't know. It is just so weird to me, like how Tony Romo can retire from football and instantly be
Mhm.
the on the first broadcasting team of CBS. And it's not Romo, because Romo is really good at what he
Yeah,
does. But
he
the
is.
fact is that Jason Witten the
Ah,
next year
yes.
had his butt with
Yeah,
a
he was
wig on
trash.
Monday Night Football, and he was horrible. So it is just amazing to me how the
Man.
Dallas Cowboys have made a brand to the point where, if you do something great for the Cowboys, you're gonna mess around to be in the Hall of Fame because you're doing it for the Cowboys. It is astonishing to me. It really is. Because
Yeah,
Dak
it's
is,
true.
in my mind, and I've gotten into it with some, because I have a big Merrick following too, but like
Mhm.
I've gotten into it because I don't think Dak is that great. And I think if he played for somebody like the Miami Dolphins, you could not sell me that people would be all on him like they are with the Cowboys. And it's just something about the Cowboys franchise that people fall in love with. The fact that they had Jason Witten on Monday Night Football is an absolute travesty.
Yep. Um, and the only chance I give them really in this game is if they, and it comes down to a Memphian. If Tony Pollard is healthy and they give him and they give him the ball instead of Zeke,
Yeah,
they have a shot. But I
yeah.
don't
They
think,
better run the ball.
yeah, I don't think they're
They
gonna give
better
him the
run the
ball.
ball.
We,
Because old boy in is maybe a slightly better AJ Brown for the 49ers.
Debo,
Debo.
ooh,
Debo is a monster.
monster.
They use him in every which way possible,
Hmm.
and he is a stone cold killer. And I can see him having a really, really good game against
I
the
guess.
Cowboys,
Hmm.
because like I said, they're just too pretty. And Debo is an ugly player. And
Hmm.
I say that in a good way, he is a. I'm gonna catch this ball, and I may only catch it 5 yards down the field, but I can
But
I
I'm
can
taking
break me a
70.
couple tackles and
Hmm.
take it good 80 for the touchdown. So we'll see.
Yep, for sure. And next up, Eagles-Bucs. Now I know the Bucks are missing Chris Godwin, and we all saw Antonio Brown. So I'm sure you got
The Bucks will win.
yeah.
What's his name? Jalen Hurts. They benched him in college because of his stuff in the big games, and I think they will do. I mean, they won't bench him, but I think he's not been in the playoffs against Tom Brady, and I think Brady will have these guys ready to go. So I'm expecting a Brady and them win by more than at least 2 scores.
Yeah. I think I expect the same, more similar to the Steelers Chiefs game where Eagles probably gonna keep it tight in the beginning, but the same thing with them. What I say about the Cowboys, they really ain't beat nobody to win the record.
Hmm.
They literally got the playoffs off of beating a bunch of crap teams, which
Yeah.
mean you wouldn't win games that's on your schedule. So I'm
Hmm.
not finna down them on that. But this just has Bucks finna chill. Uh Easy wins, go ahead, get to the divisional round all over it.
Hmm.
I love to be proven wrong. My guy Savage, he's a Eagles fan. But hey, we'll see. And last but not least, Monday Night Football for a playoff game. Cardinals and Rams on MLK Day, is to be exact. Third time they playing the season. The road team, just like the Bills and Patriots, road team won both times. So who you got in the tiebreaker?
I as bad as I am not that big on Stafford, I'm even lesser big on Kyler Murray. And I expect that the Rams, and I really would like to see the Rams win. Just because, and I don't. Do we know if Hopkins is back for the playoff game?
We don't know. I had paid no attention, but I know they said he
Okay.
might come back, but I ain't checked it. Let me check on
Yeah.
this.
So, and I think if he's not there, I don't think it'll be close. But if even if he does play, I still expect the Rams to win a close game.
Yep. DeAndre Hopkins not. Nope. DeAndre Hopkins is not available for the wild card.
I don't think they will win
And,
because he takes up. I mean, he's
he
the best
do.
receiver. He takes up all this attention and everything else. And while AJ Green is good and he's serviceable, he's like the Julio. Like
Yeah.
he's serviceable and he can do things. But the person that's going to really make that thing go is DeAndre. And if they don't have him, it's going to be a struggle to
Yep.
stay on the field. And the Cardinals have really fallen off. They
have.
started the season real hot, but they have really fallen off.
And you know it's crazy. Everybody expected this. Everybody expected it to happen, and it
Oh
happened.
yeah.
Literally.
Oh yeah. Oh,
last
yeah.
season happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Kyler Murray got hurt again. Then same thing as
Mm-hmm.
last year. So same here. We agreed on all the picks. Ryan also said Rams win. He said they fell off a cliff, no pun intended, but you spelled it like it's nice.
Nice.
Good
Good
one.
you did that. Yeah.
But yeah, same. The Cardinals just don't. I don't believe in one of these teams, but I believe, like you said, I believe in the Cardinals less than I believe in the Rams. And if DeAndre Hopkins returned, I might consider myself picking the Cardinals, but and that's kind of the reason I don't believe in the Cowboys. I knew the Cardinals were about to win in Dallas a couple weeks ago because Kyler Murray owns AT&T Stadium. He's like 9-0
Yeah.
there. So I just it's just go hand in hand. So give me the Rams. I know I've been picking everybody against them last couple weeks, so this is the first time I'm actually picking the Rams. So
Yeah. And like I said, even the Rams, that's the reason I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, because while they have some talent and some superstars on their team, they just too pretty.
Yep.
They're just too pretty. That's why I would give Vrabel the nod over any coach in this over any coach in the playoffs, because dude just an ugly, ain't nothing pretty about Mike Vrabel. Nothing. The way he goes about things is just it is a aggressive, mean, rugged style. You're gonna be in it for a long 60 minutes with this ball club, and that's why I give them the edge. And especially when they get the swagger back when 22 hits them backfield.
Yes, sir. Same here. But that does it for the show, man. Appreciate you coming on again. Like, man, that was a great episode. Probably I've had some long episodes. It's probably longest up there. It's up there with the longest, but I mean, great content.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
don't
it.
even feel that long.
I appreciate you having me. And I am a long-winded, especially when you start talking about sports. So,
Yeah.
it's all good.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. It didn't even feel that long. But tell the people where they can follow you at again.
I'm at BG901 on Twitter, BG901 on Instagram, and Brandon Galloway at Facebook. So hit me up. Let me know how I can help you.
For sure. Got Ryan, great show, fellas. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Check out my guy Ryan Harris podcast, the Jump Pass, the Titans podcast. He releases normally on every Thursday or Friday. Man, check him out as well. Follow him on Twitter. Y'all remember, follow me. If y'all tighten up, follow my personal account, the _P Shark. Of course, reason I separated them. I didn't want all them Titans fans on my personal account because I talk about Tigers, Grizzlies, Tigers, Tennessee Vols. So create a whole new Twitter page for just straight Titans content. So that's why they separated. Follow Let's Be Real, the whole podcast network at LB Real Media. Follow LBR Sports 901. We're returning this Saturday. Want to hear about the Memphis Grizzlies fan, Ja Morant, trying to get to this all-star starter status. Check us out, Started 5 number 5 MEM on Twitter, and we come out with episode every Monday on the Grizzly Bear Blues Podcast Network. But until next time, tighten up.
Tighten up.